Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Terry.
Here.
Councilmember Caffey. Councilmember Willie. Councilmember Oliveris.
Here.
Councilmember Starr.
Here.
Councilmember Flores.
Here. If you would please stand and join me for the pledge, followed by the invocation led by Luke Olivares. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Luke.
Yes, sir. All right. At this time, please bow your heads and join me in prayer. As summer fades, Dear Lord, as summer fades and a new season begins, we ask for your wisdom and direction for our community. While we do not know all that lies ahead, we ask that you guide our discussions, decisions, and the steps we take, and help us all to trust you even when the road is unclear. Open the right doors and gently close the ones that are not meant for us. Teach us to listen to your voice above every distraction. Give us wisdom and courage to do what is right, even when it feels uncomfortable. May this new season be filled with opportunities to grow in your goodness and kindness, to love others well, and honor you through our words and actions. Bless the students, teachers, staff, and administrators of the Rockdale ISD as they begin a new school year. Bless our first responders and their families, and keep them safe as they perform their duties. Bless us as a town, and as we journey together to make Rockdale a better place for all our citizens. Guide and direct the conversations and decisions made here this evening. Bless our mayor and council and all those who serve in our community. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Luke. Thank you to our citizens that are present. Thank you to our staff that is present this evening, and thank you to council that is also present. Do we have any announcements prior to getting to our Pet of the Month?
Yes, there's a couple of things, Mayor, I wanted to remind folks that coming up on September 6th and 7th is our back-to-school pool party at the Veterans Park Pool from 1 to 6 on both Sunday and Monday. The 6th is for 5th grade and younger, and the 7th is for 6th grade and older. It's free admission. There will be food and drinks available, and we want to encourage everybody to come out. Also, I wanted to address and make an announcement regarding the comment from Councilman Caffey at the last meeting, and following that, staff has gone up and sprayed the whole length of Cameron Avenue, and began weed eating it today, and so they're making headway on that, and they have also gone east of downtown as well, and done a lot of weeding along there as well. This morning, Ben and I rode out and identified a number of properties that need some additional attention that he's going to be addressing. So,
Thank you. Thank you, Tim. Want to talk to us about our Pet of the Month? That's Duke, right?
Duke, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Duke. I'll show you guys. I don't know if that helps. And he's a sweet boy. He's only 1 year old. We're guessing. We found him on July 1st at Cefco, and he was just wandering along. But he knows sit. He's really well behaved. There you go. Good boy. He's crate trained. He is potty trained. He is kennel trained. Loves everyone. He loves other dogs. We don't know about cats. We don't have cats. But yeah, he's just a great little guy. He's like 50 pounds-ish. So he's not too big, full grown though. And he's got these goofy little dew claws in the back, so we don't know what he's mixed with, but he's definitely a Catahoula hound maybe of some kind based off his ears. So, and he's got these beautiful blue specks in his eyes. It looks like a trick on the camera, like it's a shine, but it's really his eyes. So, yeah, and if you guys want to get to know him more, you can come on down to the Rockdale Animal Shelter, play with all the dogs, including Duke, and we'd be happy to see you there. Any questions?
Yeah, so thank you, and I say this every meeting, our ACOs do a great job for the city of Rockdale, and our volunteer group does a great job as well, so thank you for the work you're doing. I can't tell you how many pets we've adopted out of our animal shelter, and the numbers are just, I would say, as compared to several years ago, are really staggering from what we've been able to accomplish with the hard work of our ACOs and our volunteer group that works out there as well. So thank you for the work you continue to do. And if you're interested in adopting a pet, please go out to the animal shelter and find your new favorite pet. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going to move on to citizens' communications, and first we'll call on Grady Hall. Grady, if you'll step up. I will remind you, you'll be on the timer, sir. You have 3 minutes to speak. Looks like if you would say your name and your address, please. Looks like your topic of discussion is excessive noise.
Yeah, it's Grady Hall. We're staying over on 1011 East Belton. And it's these people driving around the community and around the city, down Cameron, banging these speakers like they are. When you're sitting in your home watching TV, there's no reason to hear somebody's speakers over your TV that's parked 2 blocks away at Muncie's or driving down Cameron Avenue. I had an altercation with one guy here a few months back. Drove by the house down Belton, had the bass turned up so loud, stuff came off the walls. There's no reason for us to have to live like this with these kids driving around and adults too. Because the guy I had an altercation with was about my age, in his 50s. So, is there anything the city can do, some kind of noise ordinance? Anything we can do to put a stop to this mess?
If you want to give me a call in the morning, I will address that.
Okay.
City Hall, Tim Kelty.
All right.
Yeah,
Brady, we can't go back and forth during citizen communication.
Yeah.
If you'll address it to the city manager, and that's for anybody in here,
Yeah.
during citizen communication, Mr. Kelty will push it out to us or get you an answer.
Yeah, because I mean, I've even had some kids back behind us that I've had to go back there and tell them, because they're sitting there with the doors open and it turned up and all you're hearing is their bass. And I mean, I don't think anybody in here wants to have to deal with that sitting in their home.
Thank you.
thank you, Grady.
Yep.
Peggy Boney, Miss Boney is here to actually understand why Miss Boney is here, to discuss her drainage and cleaning mud and debris concerns.
Yes, Peggy Boney. I live on 2nd Street here in Rockdale. I did call the mayor. When we had all the rain, the drainage that comes through Pecan and 2nd, someone dug up dirt, did not place cement there for it to drain properly. So the mud collected there on the corner of Pecan and 2nd is still there. The concerns are, will we be able to get that cleaned up, and will something be able to get done about how it drains there? So that's a big concern. Also, I didn't put that on, but it's 1 yard there. We keep our neighborhood pretty clean, but 1 yard has weeds growing up. And I thought the coding officer would take care of that, which we try to keep our community clean. Hopefully, we all want to do that and take care of it.
And I would ask Ms. Boney that if you would contact him in the morning, please. He and I have had several discussions regarding my visit to your street.
Okay.
I think you saw me over there.
I did.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So you're very welcome. If you would please give him a call tomorrow, he can inform you of the discussions we've had and some, so as we can't go back and forth during this.
I understand, and
Yes,
thank you
ma'am.
very
But
much.
thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Randy Thompson? Oh, Randy.
How's it going?
All right, Randy is here to discuss the creek behind his house, the waterway,
Yeah,
Elm Branch.
yeah, it's been an issue for a while. I was Randy Thompson, 302 West Bell. I have the corner lot right there, and it's been happening actually for years. That water that goes through that waterway there, it gets. You've probably seen it before. It's been pretty deep through there, and I've actually had a couple of water rescues out of the house behind my new building there, and that creek's just been grown up with vines and trees and just crap tires. I actually pulled 9 trailer loads of tree limbs and debris and just stuff that was in there blocking the those 3 big openings, you know, that go underneath the bridge. Well, right now, one of those is pretty much open, but the other 2 are basically almost halfway covered because there used to be a tree growing in there, and I guess just over the years, the things dropping out of it, you know, it built the land up inside there. So you got a deep section on one side, and the other side is about half the amount of depth it should be. But I've even tried to clean it out, you know, with like a skid steer. I was trying to get the Corps of Engineers to, like, I guess they have to okay any kind of work you do in the waterway. And they wouldn't call back. I left messages. I called the one in Georgetown. They actually answered, but still didn't call back. But they answered and said they would call back, but never did. But I just want to see if we could somehow address that waterway through there, you know, the creek through there, because it's been bad, but it's not so bad now. Like I said, I pulled a whole lot of stuff out of it, but the land is still built up real high. We can get it cut down some, like kind of like y'all did with the other ones, you know, where they put the concrete things in there. It doesn't even have to have that, just as long as it's probably a section 50 feet long probably that needs to be dug down, flattened out, you know, because it has to be about this deep before it actually starts going through those other 2 passages under the bridge. It gets backed up pretty bad by my shop and the house. It's been about 6 feet from the back of my building before, recently.
Yes, sir.
All right, I appreciate it.
And I know I can't speak to you, but I participated in those water rescues on Memorial Day about 12 years ago, so I'm familiar with that.
That was the night that it got in my shop.
Yes, sir.
It was a foot deep. Yeah, it was a foot deep in there.
Thank you, Randy.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Point well taken. Thank you, Randy. Brother Dave Melton, here to speak about the peace celebration. International Day of Peace.
Mayor Ward, Council, City employees, thank you all for your service to our community. Monday, September 21st is the 45th anniversary of the International Day of Peace. It will also be the 4th year of Rockdale Earth Day, holding celebrations to recognize this important day. In a big picture sense, Earth Day is an attempt to renew, respect, and restore our world. As an organization, we strive to stay in our lane within the Rockdale community and believe that these celebrations fit well with our mission statement, especially these words, to provide educational opportunities to teach and inform community members on issues such as conservation, recycling, and the imperative to respect nature and all of its inhabitants. What a better way to respect our world than to promote peace. The theme for the International Day of Peace on September 21st, 2026 is Invest in Peace for Everyone, Everywhere, Every Day. This focus highlights daily actions and honors everyday peacemakers. In front of you this evening in your packet is a few pages of information with us collaborating with downtown businesses, the Rockdale Community Market, and the K Theater. Because the 21st falls on a Monday, we decided it was best to host our events on Saturday the 19th and Sunday the 20th. I would like to publicly invite each of you to any or all of these events. Peace is built in households, neighborhoods, and in communities like Rockdale. Our mayor and council can play a vital role in promoting peace and goodwill in this community. The Sidewalk Art Project on Saturday the 19th is an effort to promote peace while allowing artists and aspiring artists and those who, quite frankly, aren't artists at all like myself, to help spread beauty, color, and messaging on the streets of downtown Rockdale. High school and junior high art teachers Lanny Young and Winton Thomason are encouraging their students to participate. If you have kids, grandkids, nephews, and nieces, Mayor Rodham, Councilman Perry, Ms. Oliveris, we encourage you to bring them to this experience and have some fun together as a family. We will set up that morning from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the community market at Wolf Park, distributing sidewalk chalk to individuals and teams that would like to create a slab of beautiful mosaic on our downtown sidewalks. I have two humble requests for our city. Chief Meadows, If budget and staffing allows, we think that a downtown presence of police staff would be very much welcome. This would be a great opportunity for the officers to meet citizens. And then, Mr. Kelty, while we are greatly appreciative of the weed spraying which we have seen in recent days, we hope that that continues and that litter is picked up, because we may, if the event is looking like it might be well attended, we may have media coverage, and we want to make sure that we're free of litter and that downtown looks as good. Sunday the 20th, K Theater showing Remember the Titans, 3 p.m. that evening. At 7 p.m., the Night of Peace celebration with Reverend Herbert Jones of Rockdale's Full Gospel doing the homily this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. And that is all I had signed up for citizens' communications. We're moving on to presentations. I don't see Dwayne David in the room, so we were going to recognize Dwayne David from his 27 years after his retirement from the Rockdale Volunteer Fire Department. We will recognize him next month, along with Trent Wages also. So we'll move on to item number 2 on the presentation, and that is a very well-deserved proclamation and recognition. Bobby Joe, you want to come up here, please, sir? Come on up around here. So I don't know if any of y'all know where Bobby Joe Tyndall grew up, but Bobby Joe Tyndall and I both grew up in Minerva, Texas. And we're actually like family. And at least I consider you family. And the Tyndalls and the Wilcox, and I get chills up here talking about that, and I'm not exaggerating at all. So we are like family, and so this is very special to me to be able to read this proclamation to you. And we are honoring Bobby Joe today for his 45 years of dedicated service to the city of Rockdale. And how special is that? Whereas the city of Rockdale is proud to recognize and celebrate individuals whose hard work, dedication, and commitment have made lasting difference in the lives of its citizens, and whereas Bobby Joe Tyndall has faithfully served the city of Rockdale for 45 years, demonstrating exceptional loyalty, professionalism, devotion, and public service throughout their distinguished career, and whereas during those 45 years, Bobby Joe Tyndall has contributed significantly the strength, progress, and daily operations of the city, earning the respect and admiration of colleagues, elected officials, and the community alike, and whereas the steadfast service of Bobby Joe Tyndall reflects the very best of municipal government and serves as an inspiration to present and future generations of public servants, and whereas reaching a 45-year service milestone is a rare and remarkable achievement, worthy of a special recognition and sincere appreciation by the city of Rockdale and all who call it home. Now, therefore, I, Ward Rodham, Mayor of the city of Rockdale, Texas, on behalf of the City Council and the citizens of Rockdale, do hereby proclaim August 10th, 2026 as Bobby Joe Tyndall Day in the city of Rockdale, Texas. In the city of Rockdale, Texas, and urge all residents to join in honoring Bobby Joe Tyndall for 45 years of outstanding service, dedication, and commitment to the city of Rockdale and its people. Bobby Joe, thank you and congratulations, sir.
Let me move this chair real quick.
We're going to get a picture,
There you go.
you and I together.
Hey, Mayor Rodham, I want to say something also.
Yes, sir.
And that is, in 25 years as a city manager in 5 different cities, the closest that I've ever had anybody come to 45 years is 34 years. So he's blown that out of the water and is truly, truly a great public servant.
Thank you.
And I have to say, he also makes the best jalapeno dressing. So if you ever get a chance to eat that, and you're welcome to say anything if you'd like to say anything, Bobby Joe.
Oh, no, really.
And if you want to finish running the rest of the meeting, you can do that too.
No, I don't have nothing to say. My intention was not to work 45 years for Rockdale. But I enjoyed what I was doing, so I just stayed on to it. And I thank each and every one of y'all for this. And my wife, she's sitting over there. If nobody met my wife, that's my wife over there from Ronald Contender.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Me and him did grew up in Minerva.
That's right.
Played football. And
We did. Yeah.
Small prats.
Absolutely. Yes, we did.
Look him up there. He's up there.
And you don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting. That's the best part of it.
Enjoy your supper.
Yeah. That's the extra gift. So now we will receive a presentation from Becca Trevino with the Rockdale VFW Charity regarding the Rockdale VFW Charity Dinner. Actually, it's Rebecca and Shannon.
Yes.
I guess I'm doing
Yeah, we kind of ping pong off of each other.
Shannon Miller, quartermaster for VFW Post 6525. We're having a charity dinner this Saturday. We need help getting the word out to sell some tickets. We're a little short. We want to make this a success so I can stay open and continue to help the vets that I need to. So that's pretty much all I got.
Yes, come out. The dinner ticket's $50, but it includes a dinner from the Thorndale Meat Market. We have a guy from NBC's The Voice that's going to come and serenade during dinner. There's all kinds of raffles and door prizes and stuff throughout the night, and then we're going to end the night with a dance. So you really are getting a lot for your $50, and this event is pretty well paid for at this point. So every penny that we raise will be going to the VFW. Nothing you contribute is going anywhere but to the hall. So these guys really need it. Y'all don't want to lose your VFW. It's the only one around. And when you lose it, you lose your ladies auxiliary as well. And they gave out 600 backpacks last weekend. So it would be a great loss to your community. We really need you guys to turn out.
Where do you get tickets and what time is it?
Right here.
Tickets at the hall?
You can pick them up at VFW. You can get a hold of me or Becca. You can send a Facebook post.
There's a Facebook event
You
page
can
set
buy
up.
tickets online. Go to
Yes.
rockdalevfw.com.
Yes.
We got a webpage set up for it. I mean, there's 1,000 ways to buy a ticket, or you can just show up.
Could you
There's tickets left.
If
There
there's
will
if
be
they're
some
left.
at the door. Yeah.
Could you take a little deeper dive on what the importance of this event is and why you're doing it and what the goal is of the outcome of this event, for the reasons you're doing this event, please? I understand it, but I don't know that all our citizens understand the reason behind this event.
Well, we're here for the veterans. I'm one. I helped a guy today get some help with his disability claim. That's the main reason we're there. Yeah, we have a hall rental. We've got the canteen. We meet once a month for that camaraderie. But guys will come there. They can speak to military guys and know what they've been through. And we can do a lot for
Yeah,
people
yeah.
that y'all don't see on a daily basis.
These guys go out and mow the lawn for somebody, or they will take them to the VA if they have a medical appointment. They have paid bills. If you need a wheelchair or a walker or a ramp or something, as a veteran, your resources in this general area of Texas are really limited. So when we lose the VFW, there's really no place for our veterans to turn to anymore. Thorndale already lost theirs. I think Lexington lost theirs.
Harvard.
Cameron's is struggling. So there's just not a lot of resources here for veterans except our VFW. And that's primarily what these guys have been doing for so long, but they need some help now. And I can guarantee you almost everybody in this room has some kind of memory from the past of the VFW. And that's really what we want to do, is just revitalize it, do some updates, make it more family friendly. Like, we would love to be able to get a patio on the back of that so that people can enjoy the outside, get some outdoor seating. You know, the hall needs a remodel desperately. Like, 1970s is a few years ago, so, you know, we'd like to revitalize that a little bit. So it needs some love, and this community is capable of it. We just need some help.
Yeah.
Is there any information, do you have any data on the number of veterans in Rockdale or Milam County?
I can give you
Approximately?
the Members we have, we got 91. I recruited 4 more members this year because Texas VFW has made a requirement to go to 103% because of the amount of people passing away. We have to do that to keep the numbers built up. We've only got 67,000 VFW members, where we have 600,000 in Texas alone. So we're trying to get our numbers back up, and that's not just us, you know, for our post, but the amount of people that live in Milam County, it's, you know, we can boost our numbers. I know they're out there, especially with 3 VFWs closing. So, I mean, it's a struggle every day, just trying to keep the doors open, pay the bills, you know. I don't know if anybody's in here, but the Rotary Club just donated money. Comfort AC replaced our air conditioner. That was awesome. That's a $10,000 bill that I could not pay. So we went 6 months without that AC. It went out during our gun show. We were trying to raise money with the Tony Trevino, gunsmith. So there's a ton of things that happen every day that we have to raise money for, and having the canteen just doesn't do it. The hall rentals help. Actually, that's how I make payroll some months, by people renting the hall. I've had 4 funeral receptions this year, or not really reception, but you know, quinceañeras, birthday parties, whatever, end of school, graduation parties. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than the KC Hall, and it's smaller, but it's 4,000 square feet, more than big enough. If people would just use it and utilize it. I remember the VFW around my hometown, it was always something going on. Trying to get bingo back, trying to do more. We've had barbecue cookouts, fish fries, gun show. Some things are a hit, some things are a nosedive, and that just kills my budget. So
It's pretty hand to mouth over there right now, so you need the support.
Every week, I struggle to make the payroll, and I'm just trying to get above water.
Can I say something?
So if our dinner can provide the money to keep the hall open, we can have some more events, we can do some more fundraising, we can make the improvements that are gonna bring the people in, but can't do it without you guys, and when it's gone, it's gone. You won't get it back. There's no way to get it back.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. A great big giant building, first thing when you come into Rockdale.
It's
So
owned by
very-
Texas VFW, so if we shut down, then that goes back to the state, and we lose everything, including property. So, you know, I don't want that to happen.
If I could just say something, Mayor.
Yes, go ahead.
First of all, I just want to thank y'all for everything that y'all do. I got a little teary just hearing everything that y'all do. I appreciate it. I feel like you guys are really helping vulnerable population. I mean, already living in Rockdale and around here, it's already a challenge. Not to mention if you're a veteran and struggling with different things like you've mentioned. Maybe we could be creative, but I guess I'll ask him if there's any way that we can support them or partner with them. I'm not sure how long your building has been there, but can we go via the historic route to support them in some way and support their building at least?
I'll look into it.
I mean, I'm just asking, I'm not sure.
We're open to suggestions on anything. if there's something that you think you can do to improve it, let us know. Like, we've had different construction guys come out and give us bids on projects, like, hey, I can fix this thing or that thing, but we still have to raise the money for it. So if there's something you can do, let us know. We are open to it all.
Yeah, if I can do it, and I did, I replaced 9 toilets in the hall and the canteen this past weekend with the help of her husband, Tony, and a couple other vets that are part of our post. That's no easy task, but those toilets were donated, the dispensers were donated. So people are trying to help in small ways, and that's how we make a big difference.
They have an Amazon wish list even on the
Yeah.
website. So even if you don't want to give money or service, a roll of toilet paper, you know those are valuable. So we'll take that. We'll take a roll of toilet paper.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not choosy right now.
Yeah, I mean, when you got trash bags that are $75 a box, you know, because you got to hold the bottles. I mean, it's expensive. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming by to share your needs and your vision. And, you know, I think I can safely speak for everyone sitting up here. We encourage our citizens to go out and support your fundraiser.
yeah, I mean, your grandkids.
Yes.
I mean, that
Oh
was
my
that was
gosh.
awesome. You know.
Your mayor's grandchildren had a lemonade stand in front of their house. They raised, I think,
$350.
$350 in lemonade sales, and they gave it to the VFW.
We had some very generous citizens come by and support
And
that.
how
so.
awesome is that?
Yeah.
If little children can do that for us, think what the city as a whole could do for us. Like,
Yeah.
we
That's
just
awesome.
need the help.
So, any help? Stop by Saturday. Buy tickets. Buy
Yes.
tickets first.
Buy tickets.
Then we
So-
know exactly where we're standing on Saturday.
Yeah. Tell your friends, tell your family, share our post. If you see us on Facebook, share it, please.
Absolutely.
RockdaleVFW.com. You can buy tickets or raffle tickets. Raffle tickets. I know we got a lot of guns, but we got a lot of vets. But we got 5 guns, holsters,
Yep.
suppressors. I mean, and that's pretty cheap for 5 chances.
Yes.
So,
There's a really nice engraved gun in the
Ah.
auction that has no minimum bid. I think that thing's over $1,000 easily.
yeah,
Beautiful.
a Ronin 1911, and we also have a gold gun, a Joker gun for auction. They're pretty badass. I'm just gonna say, extremely nice weapons, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble for bidding on those, but because I really like them. But
We'll take your money too.
I know. But, God.
Great, thank you. Appreciate you coming up. Okay, now we will receive the annual presentation from the Rockdale Chamber of Commerce.
Council, I passed out the annual report that Mr. Luckoff has put together and will be presented to council tonight.
Welcome, Mr. Lockoff. You
Well,
have,
Mayor and Council, thank y'all for having us here today.
he didn't hear me, did he?
What'd you say?
I said, you have 1 minute, sir.
Just if you'll flip to your presentation, thank you very much. Have a nice day.
You know I'm joking.
I don't know the last time that we were here to present to the council, but what I thought we would do is do a quick recap of 2025 current. And in page 1 of the presentation that you have in your packet, it will show that the chamber did in 2025, we had 78 interactions, both business and tourism events for the chamber. And they're pretty self-explanatory there. I want to move on from there to talk about 2026, which I'm going to entitle The Tale of Two Cities. As you know, we had starting off in January, and the second page is January through April, what we've done, ribbon cuttings and all that. However, in April, we had a meltdown. We had a resignation of our executive director. That board at that time canceled the banquet, and it was a challenge. We have a brand-new board of directors, which is the last page, the addendum to your packet. We've replaced the board. We have created new bylaws, and I kind of want to really touch on what we've done since that April 2026 event took place. We have a new board of directors with a wide community influence and involvement. We have equal representation from a lot of different places that we didn't have before. We've revised the bylaws to reflect a modern approach to doing chamber business, which includes a financial policy that requires more board oversight. We have developed a new branding campaign. If you've seen the logo, which is above that page, which reflects where Round Rock has been in the relation to the railroad, to where the future. Rockdale, did I say Round Rock? That happens a lot. I was chair of that chamber, and I thought I would get out of that business, but they pulled me back in here. Rockdale, the history of Rockdale from the rail to the future, okay? We are now in the process, and we have developed a clearer job description of what the city of Rockdale should have as the director and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. We posted that job opening for a national regional search for our next CEO, ED, and we have received 21 applications of people that are interested in the position. The committee leading the charge met Friday. We have selected 5 candidates to further interview and see if they fit our criteria. We're in the process of setting that up. We have resolved issues with communications within the chamber. We have developed an IT program to get us back on track there. We now have audio-visual in Hogan Hall. So when people use that, they actually can do an audio-visual presentation there in that facility. We fostered a strong relationship with MDD and the City Council. And we have our very first board training meeting tomorrow evening to train a board on how a board operates and the professionalism that I and the other board members are expecting from the chamber. Since then, we were very involved helping promote the community July 4th event in a partnership with the city. We're in the planning process of the Christmas parade and events in partnership with the city. We continue to do hometown highlights here at some rinky-dink radio station in town that we've given 96 plus hours of programming to the city of Rockdale to promote tourism as well as foster greater community support. Okay. Right now, we currently have 3,700 followers on our social media platforms, and we're going to continue to promote Shop, Stay, and Play in our home of Rockdale because together we are better. Okay, and that's my report, and I will take questions should you have any.
I would also just point out that the chamber is also heavily involved in helping to promote the Tackle Fest that we had in May.
Yeah, well, that was part of that. We get it. We appreciate it. I will address and quell a couple of rumors about finances with the chamber. While I don't necessarily agree with the policy that we had before with the past, we're going forward in a different direction with how we compensate the person that we're reaching out to for the executive director's position. There is no money missing from the chamber. We've accounted for every dollar. So if you've heard that, false. We ask, I know our contract with the city that I have for our partnership ends this year. It was a 2-year agreement. And we look and would hope that the city would partner with us again. I think this ends September 30th, 2026, that we can develop a new plan to work together to grow this community.
Is your board full?
Yes, 100%. We went from 4 members to 13. And you have that, should have that in your packet, who those individuals are.
And it's been active board meetings where you may have 1 or 2 board of those 13 that might be missing at any given time?
Well, it's been summer. We're on vacation.
Steve?
Sir.
Do your bylaws have a requirement of the minimum number of board meetings that a member has to attend?
Yes, sir. We do have that policy.
Okay.
Like I said, I took that upon myself, and we made it modernized where it should have been.
Excellent. Thank you.
And I'll make a copy available if you'd like one. You certainly.
Oh, it's not necessary for me, sir. I just had that question.
Well, then.
Do y'all have a normal meeting time?
Yes, sir. 5:15, the second week of the month.
And are your meetings
usually on
open to the
Tuesdays.
public?
What day?
Normally on Thursdays, but this week it's on Tuesday.
Well, we're having it on Tuesday this month because of the training.
Okay.
Yes, we have standardized meetings.
Happens sometime the second week of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Usually Thursdays, like City Manager Kelty.
Open to the public?
Well, if you're welcome to come in Hogan Hall anytime, we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and you certainly have a right to attend it. We'd love to have you. It's just a little tight with a bigger board.
Oh, that makes sense.
But we do have AV, and we'll eventually have Zoom, where we'll Zoom our meetings.
Gotcha.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you very much.
Keep up the good work. Now we will receive a presentation from Rachel Owens for Casa of Milam County.
Good evening. My name is Rachel Owens, and I am with CASA of Milam County. CASA stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates, and we have been in Milam County since '23 and have taken cases since '24. And right now we have 7 advocates. We need about 30. And if you know anyone that has 10 hours to spare a month, we would love to have them. They go through a 30-hour training, which we give them, and 15 is in person at 105 South Main, where our offices are located, and the other half is 15 hours on their own time reading through the training, which we go over. What happens with CASA is when kiddos are removed by CPS because it's no longer safe in their homes, Judge Youngblood appoints one of our CASAs when they enter the court system. And our CASAs are with those kiddos from the time that the time that they enter with the court system until it ends, whether they are reunified, whether they are adopted, or whether they age out of care. I'm the executive director, but I also am an advocate because we are short advocates, and I'm not telling Judge Youngblood no. So he keeps giving us cases as they come in, which we will gladly take. We have, with the legislature, the numbers are down right now. We only have about 40 children in care, but that doesn't mean that there is less abuse occurring. The legislature has changed the definition of abuse and are trying to give parents more rights. I have my own opinions on that, and I'll just leave it at that. I don't want the government involved in my business, but I'm not abusing my children either. So, but with that, the children have to be in much dire straits to be removed now. So when kids come into care, they are coming with more issues, more problems, and they have been sustaining that abuse for longer periods of time. And we find that they're needing much more care while they're in care because of the abuse that they have sustained at the hands of those who were supposed to take care of them. So right now, we only have 40 children. In Milam County, we've had like 129, 170 in care before. In our county, we have around 5,300 youth, and 1,323 of those around there have been through the CPS system. That's more than our surrounding counties. It's not something to be good, it's not anything good to be number one at when you're dealing with that. So that's something that we work with. We find in our county, in a lot of counties with abuse, it's cyclical and familial, and that means that they were raised that way, and they are continuing that cycle of abuse. 95 of our kiddos are not even placed in Milam County. I drive about 20,000 miles every 3 months. I didn't realize that because I just drive a lot, but my husband notices that because he has to buy me some new tires. So, which he told me, he's like, Rachel, he's like, we got to change tires. And I'm like, what are you talking about? We just got tires. And so he's like, he looks at that. I don't. I'm just going. We've got a lot of kiddos to take care of, and one of the things that we do to raise funds, we receive a Victims of Crimes Act grant and a Health and Human Service Act or Care grant, but in order to receive those grants, we have to match the funding that they give us. Hence, we have our event, Taste of Milam, which is coming up on September 19th. It's always going to be the third Saturday in September, so you can mark your calendars from here on out. This year, we're having it at Kiesling Ranch again. We had it at the venue in Cameron our first year. It was a good problem to have. We outgrew that. They could take 300, and we had 350 people show up. So we were at Kiesling Ranch last year. We had about 500 show up. They can take 550 as what we can fit in there. I hope we outgrow it, but I don't know where we're going to go after that. My board will kill me if I do an event in September that's outside, so I can't do that. So if you know of a place that's bigger that can house that many people, we love Kiesling Ranch. Hopefully we grow. Not sure where we're going to go next after that, but you pay $50 to get in. One of the things, making money off the event is number one, of course. Number two, though, is one of the reasons that we called it Taste of Milam, and that is to showcase all of what we have here in Milam County, our small mom and pop and those types of businesses. Whether you do it out of your kitchen, you have brick and mortar, you have a food truck, the things that you can only get here in Milam County are what we showcase at this event. So they bring their samples. We ask them to bring between 400 and 500 samples because our numbers have grown. You get to sample all of that until it runs out or until you're stuffed. The other band it will be playing for that evening, and David Hall will be the MC and auctioneer. We too have guns. Everybody likes guns. But my husband will be in town for this one, so going to stop me from bidding. I love the man dearly, though. But one of the things we'll have is a 2K11 Kimber 45, a Desert Eagle 50 caliber, and I don't know, we were trying to think of outside the box, because everybody's got ARs now, so we're not even doing ARs this year. But those are things that you can look forward to. But I hope that you can come to the event. This is some of the things that folks have asked me is, well, what do you spend your money on? I am paid as the executive director, and then I also get to be an advocate. And we finally were able to get an advocate supervisor, because I'm only one person doing a lot of work, which I don't mind, but we needed to do better. And so we got her, Addie Garrison. Her husband will start working at the Rockdale Police Department here pretty soon. But everyone else are volunteers. All of our advocates are volunteers. So they spend all of that time doing it for free, out of the goodness of their hearts, to make sure that those kids are taken care of. And our whole point is to give those kids a voice in court and to be with them. And like I said, I have a case that's lasted 2 years. I've been that advocate for those kiddos and been with them through that process that entire time. We always strive for reunification, but sometimes that can't happen. So we travel all over. We just had a kid that was placed in Vegas. I did volunteer to go see that kiddo. But, you know, my mom lives in Vegas too, so. But we go wherever the children go, and they're mostly placed out of our county. We don't even have like 10 registered or certified foster homes in our county. That's why so many of them get sent out. So that's what we do in a nutshell, and I'll answer any questions you have, because I can talk about this all day long. Yes. Yeah. And
I don't have any
everything's in your packet.
questions, but I just want to thank you and your advocates for what you do for our children that need that service.
Well, and we've saved the county in here. This one is 2425, the sheet that you've got on the left. It says $339,000. It's up to about $800,000 now of what we have saved the county. Because our volunteers are volunteers, they don't get paid. And that's money that they would have had to have paid for someone else to do this services for the children. So it benefits everybody. Number one, our kiddos, but we do help the county out by that service also.
which that helps us as taxpayers out as well, so thank you.
Does. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for the presentation. All right, moving along, council, you have your consent agenda before you. You've had time to review the consent agenda. I'll ask, is there anything you want to take out of the consent agenda before I ask for action on the consent agenda as written?
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as read.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the consent agenda as written. Is there any discussion? Be no discussion, we'll vote. All in favor said motion signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to the regular agenda. Item number 8, conduct a public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2026-2027 budget, October 1, 2026 through September 30th, 2027 for the city of Rockdale. I am going to, Tim, did you want to say something before I open the public hearing?
You can open it and.
Okay. I have 6:22 PM. The public hearing is now open. Is there anyone that wants to speak during the public hearing phase regarding the proposed fiscal year 2026-2027 budget? If so, you're welcome to step up to this podium and speak. Anyone present that would like to speak during the public hearing phase in regard to the proposed fiscal year 2026-2027 budget? Yes, ma'am. The budget is made public. All information relative to the budget hearings, meetings is open to the public. So yes, ma'am.
And it has been posted on our website since the 27th of July. Yeah, the budget is posted on our website.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Anyone like to speak in regard to the public hearing open for the 23 PM, and I am closing the public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2026-2027 budget. Tim, go ahead.
So there's no action on this tonight, but I would like to announce that the public hearing is part of the process required before we adopt the budget. The information on the budget has been posted on our website since the 27th of July, and it's also been available at the city secretary's office for people to come in and review. Some of the highlights of the budget that I'm excited about: we are programming another $500,000 in the budget for street reconstruction next year. We've got $35,000 for a skid steer for Public Works, $50,000 in culvert and drainage work planned. We're setting aside $100,000 for a future fire truck and $50,000 to help finance a new fire station expansion. We've got $100,000 budgeted to make improvements at Veterans Park Pool to replace the deck. There is a lease purchase of 2 new patrol vehicles in the police department. There's a 3% cost of living allowance in the budget for all salaries. There's $100,000 office improvements for Public Works. There's $100,000 from hot funds for event funding. There's $840,000 in home partnership grant programming, and that $840,000 is a lot, but it's actually kind of 2 years worth of projects. Is that right, Ben? A year and a half. So our match each year is $40,000. And then there's $225,000 in there for the Unified Development Code, which is being funded through a grant that we're going to be talking about later in the meeting. But the budget will pull about $300,000 from reserves in the general fund.
Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Council, any questions for Tim?
None of those numbers changed from our last week's meeting, is that correct?
The amount we're pulling from reserves has gone down a little bit. Going to be budgeting a little bit more from revenue in sales tax, and we got some information today on some revenue that we're going to generate from development, what do you call them? Site development permits from this year, so that'll help our bottom line considerably.
31,000 delta between those two that we were gonna be short has shrunk a little bit.
Yeah, we're still gonna be short, but it'll, instead of pulling, we were looking at pulling, I think, 323,000. Now we're probably gonna be pulling around 288,000, something like that.
Moving on to agenda item number 9, conduct a public hearing on the proposed tax rate for the revenues from the properties on the tax roll in the preceding tax year for the city of Rockdale.
And I will say, before you call the meeting, I probably should have said that earlier, so people have stuff to comment on, but as part of the process for adopting the annual budget, we are required to conduct a public hearing on the proposed tax rate. The tax rate that's being proposed has a total rate of 0.782141. This is down from the total rate adopted last year of 85 cents, and it's reflective of the no new revenue M&O rate of 0.642333 and a debt rate of 0.139508. It is the rate that will generate about $2.9 million from the general fund, which is reflected in the proposed budget.
Thank you. The public hearing is now officially open at 6:27 PM. Is there anyone that would like to speak during this public hearing regarding agenda item number 9 on the tax rate for the revenue from the properties on the tax roll? In the,
Everybody's waiting for Facebook.
yeah. Anyone want to speak during the public hearing on the proposed tax rate for the revenue from the properties on the tax roll in the preceding tax year for the city of Rockdale? Doesn't appear that we have anyone that wants to speak during the public hearing, so I'm going to officially close the public hearing at 6:28 PM. Tim, did you have anything else you wanted to say, sir?
No, sir.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 10, consider and take any necessary action on accepting a petition requesting the creation of a public improvement district for the Millerton Landing subdivision and set dates for the required public hearings. Go ahead, Tim.
Yes, so last, sorry, Mayor. A few months ago, the city council adopted a development agreement with Millerton Landing LLC for the development of a new residential subdivision. It was back in May, on May 13th. And it's for a subdivision for about 400 new homes on the County Road 306. 306, just behind the intermediate school. It's an area that's outside the city limits. They will be submitting a petition for annexation here shortly, but they have part of the agreement in the development, part of the terms of the development agreement was the adoption of a PID, and so they have submitted this PID petition in accordance with the terms that were outlined in the development agreement. And so the action tonight is basically to accept, by resolution, to accept that petition and set the public hearing dates, and we're looking at a public hearing for September 14th. And Brian, Gerard, and Jim Maddox are both here tonight to answer any questions you might have. But again, this is not to approve the PID, this is just to accept the petition.
So, you'll have to have a public hearing. Do you have to have one public hearing?
Yes,
Okay.
on the PID. There'll be another public hearing on the annexation. I'm not sure if there's a public hearing on the TERS.
And when we do the public hearing, will we take an action immediately after that, or will it be another month?
You'll be able to take action at that same meeting following the public hearing. I don't know whether it will take 1 or 2 readings. I'm sorry, the PID is not done by ordinance. It is done by resolution. So it would just take one vote from council. But the terms that basically were all negotiated in the development agreement will be part of that PID document. And there will be another more detailed document, I believe, that will accompany that. But Andrea Barnes from P3 will be here. And Brad has been on the team that has helped negotiate that as well. Brad is with, by the way, is the city attorney with Barbara.
No, he's talking about this gentleman up here. Oh, sorry. You're fine. And tonight, all we're doing is setting a public hearing date.
Yes,
Correct?
there's a resolution that accepts
Okay.
the petition and then setting the public hearing for September 14th.
Okay.
So when will we see terms as far as like financials? Will that be on the first hearing?
Yeah, so there'll be more information forthcoming with the public hearing and the actual PID, the document for adoption of a PID.
And I guess to clarify, like Councilman Perry was saying, we act on that hearing, or we have another week or month to?
Well, you can do what you want. Basically, the intention is, I mean, what we've done in the past is to take action after the public hearing. I'll have that information to you as soon as possible prior to the meeting. I won't wait for the packet to be sent out, so you'll have that, have to review that, and if you have questions. And if you're not comfortable acting on it that night without having further discussions, we can certainly do that. But it should be, the documents should pretty much completely reflect the information negotiated in the development agreement.
Right. To add a little more context, essentially we're in the formality stages of creating the public improvement district, which levies special assessments only on the property that we own. And so part of that, the first step of that process is to submit a PID petition, which is what we've done this evening. And so, as Mr. Kelty said, the next step will be to hold that public hearing. So tonight we'll set the public hearing, and then in September we'll conduct that public hearing. Typically speaking, council then takes action to create that district. So then at that point, the district is created, but no assessments and things are levied until the service and assessment plan, which is, I think, the next item on your agenda for another development. But that's where a lot of the nuts and bolts and the actual assessment numbers and the engineering reports and all of these things, that also goes in with some of the TERS stuff. So there's a number of steps to this process. This is basically the first step of that. And your consultants and staff will have more at the upcoming months. And so this is probably about a 4 to 5 month process of documentation and different steps and milestones to get to the final, wrapping up of all the documents and putting in place for that PID and annexation and all that stuff. So
Basically, he's saying at the next meeting, potentially we would create the PID, but then we wouldn't actually set the terms of the financing amount until the financing plan is completed and presented and given to council.
Okay. Council, any questions?
If there's no nuts and bolts on it at that point, what's the public hearing for? What are they supposed to?
It is required by state law.
Well,
And
what are they gonna comment on? There's nothing to
Well,
comment on.
and typically speaking, if I were creating a PID that affected other homeowners, that's what the
You were encompassing
intent of the
somebody's-
law is that, folks could come and voice their opposition and saying, hey, I'm getting encumbered. Well, in this situation, we own all of the land within the proposed district. So I highly doubt anyone will come and object to that, but it is a part of the process that we have.
So
That makes more sense.
a
Yeah.
PID could be established with lots of different property owners that might object to an assessment being placed on their property.
Can I say something? I spoke to Tim about this agenda item, as y'all probably thought I would. I have a lot of reservations about it, but to clarify, I did go over some numbers with you that we have already kind of agreed with. Is that correct?
Yes.
But there is a plan, to answer your question, about there are some numbers out there already, percentages and dollar amounts and assessments. Is that your question?
There are numbers that their estimated investment is $30 million, $29 million.
That's just in the public cost.
Right, and not all of that will be capturable by the TERS. There's a limit on how much, there's a formula determined established in the development agreement that will determine how much they can actually issue in bonds that will be recoverable by the PID.
Correct. And just to clarify, we were assuming that maybe it would be about the same as the other development, which is about $20,000 to $33,000 in assessment. Is that correct?
Correct. So the Cornerstone PID right now is about $3,000 plus or minus a couple $100, depending upon whether they're 40 or 50-foot lots. And I think that the PID assessment contemplated by the development agreement was about 2,800 plus or minus. There's a couple $100 less.
And that interest rate that is decided on, is that decided by you guys, or is that something that we negotiate? Because I know
The $2,800?
I think it's like 7.75, the interest rate
Every
on
$100.
the assessment.
Oh, the interest
That's
on the,
based on what the bonds would sell for. So there's a formula based on, and P3 Works, your consultant, would have more detail on that. But there's a bond buyer index of which the service and assessment plan follows, and it's governed by state law of what the applicable interest rate is based on what municipal bonds are selling for.
so we actually have bond counsel that's involved in assisting with the issuance of bonds for the public improvement districts. And so they're sold on the open market competitively. I think that PID bonds are, the reason the rates are higher than a typical municipal bond, it's backed by the full faith and credit of the city and its total ability to raise revenues through property taxes. It's limited, and so the rates are generally higher than they would be for a typical general obligation bond.
I think that's the important distinction about what this PID is. It is, the city is not pledging any of its assets or responsibility to repay any future bonds or pay any assessments. These costs are totally borne by our development, and so.
Yeah,
Right, but then
the
transfer
city
to the
won't be,
citizen.
covering, but the taxpayer will though.
In the subdivision.
Future homeowners
Yes.
will cover.
That's what, yes.
yes.
It'll fall on the backs of the citizens.
Yes, it'll start as our obligation, and then as that property develops and is subdivided, those assessments will
Be borne by
pass.
the beneficiaries of that infrastructure.
And we understand that. I believe we all understand that. We're just trying to look out for the citizens as well.
I think it's what Nathan said, though. It's very important to be clear. It will be, the burden will be on the citizens within that
Correct, yes.
footprint of
Right.
the PID, not
The purchaser
everybody
of
else
that lot.
outside of that.
Right,
Absolutely.
right.
Correct.
Thank you for the clarification.
You good?
Yes, I'm good, thank you.
Council, any other questions? Entertain a motion to schedule a public hearing.
I'll make a motion that we accept the petition and schedule a public hearing on the petition for the regular council meeting on September 14th, 2026.
September 14th?
Yes.
September 14th.
Have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion? Being no discussion, we'll vote. All in favor of said motion signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to agenda item number 11. Consider and take any necessary action on the ordinance for the Cornerstone Public Improvement District Annual Service and Assessment Plan SAP update. Tim?
So this is, the city's done this before, but I wanted to make sure this was in the regular agenda, not consent agenda, so you fully understand. Every year, P3, as our PID administrator, reviews and issues a annual service and assessment plan that needs to be approved by city council. That plan goes through all the forecasting, and it slightly adjusts. In the plan, there are, part of the important is the disclosure notice with all of the balance of the payments to the PID. When this is approved, we will be sending this directly to Ranch Road and D.R. Horton, and we will be posting this on our website. And then D.R. Horton, when they go to sell properties, under the terms of their agreement, they will include this specific disclosure report in their sales contract and their closing documents, and have it listed on the what do you call it? The online notice. Mayor, help me out.
I'm sorry?
What do they call it when you sell realtor property on the listing?
MLS?
MLS.
Yeah, MLS listing. That information will be there as well. And just to make sure that we don't have a repeat of last year. Additionally, just for your information now, with the county handling the collections rather than the third party, they will, property owners will get that bill with their regular tax bill. So they'll only get one bill. And it'll be sent to their escrow holder, so hopefully they will be having escrowed that.
If what happens, all of this assessment, or all of this is being burdened on the landowners, property owners within that TERS, or PID.
Within the PID.
PID. If they lose the ability to sell tracts out there, how is that guaranteed? Who's guaranteeing that?
So the developer, and this is what Brian was talking about earlier, until they sell any lots, the developer is responsible for the entire annual bond payment. So their first bond payment, if it's $1.5 million, the developer is responsible for that 100% of that bond payment. When they start selling lots to home builders or to new homeowners, then that portion becomes the responsibility of that homeowner. But until they sell the lot, they are responsible.
So if Cornerstone was only ever to sell 50% of their lots for whatever reason, they're responsible, the developer is responsible for that other 50%?
Ranch Roads.
Yes. Ranch Road would be.
Forever and ever.
Yeah. Well, until the bond's paid off.
2054.
30 years.
It's a long time for me. No. That's a long time for me too. Promise. Okay, so the city does not have the obligation to fulfill that.
That's
the
correct.
developer does.
That's correct.
Okay.
And until they build a house, there's really not much of a TERS assessment that they're going to be getting. But not really, I don't think there's any TERS credit they're getting for the property, so they're paying 100% of that development cost.
With the TERS in effect, is it beneficial if they did sell all of the lots for that TERS to kind of?
Yeah, so if they actually sell all 650 lots in Cornerstone and they build 650 homes out there, then each property owner is going to be responsible for the $3,000 annual installment. The first year that they buy the house, the next year they're responsible for the $3,000 assessment, but it'll be reduced by the amount of the TERS credit that they receive based on the total tax payment that they get. And there's a limit to that. You know, I think it's 1,800. I don't remember, maybe 1,500 or between 1,500 and 1,600 in Cornerstone of TERS credit that they can that's the maximum TERS credit they can get. So if in the future their assessed value goes from, initially, if it's $275,000, and 10 years from now, it's $400,000. And the city's tax rate stays relatively level at 78 or 80 cents. Then the amount of tax that they're going to be paying is actually greater than the original forecast amount, but the maximum that the TERS credit will give them is that $1,400 or $1,500, whatever is established as the maximum TERS credit.
So our action tonight,
Is to, staff recommends council approve the first reading of the ordinance.
so this one comes back next month?
Yes.
This will come back. Because in order for it to pass in one reading, you have to have all 7 members voting, and you only have 5 of you tonight, so.
I have a question. Am I allowed to vote on this since I was
Yes.
censored on the previous,
Yes, no, I actually, and Councilwoman Esme asked
because of
me
my,
a
I had
question
asked too.
earlier,
I had to talk to the attorney.
and got confirmation from the attorney that this particular issue is not the same, because before we were talking about potential litigation and kind of a mess. This is a kind of a routine perfunctory notice. This has to be approved in order for the
Okay.
assessment to be.
very good, thank you.
The only way, I should say this, and this is something for the attorney, the only way the city would potentially be on the hook for that bond is if we didn't adopt this. Is that correct?
I'd have to double check that. I believe that's correct. Yes, sir.
Can you get us that answer before we do this next month?
Yes, sir.
I want to know what I'm on the hook for.
So this, in other words, if we didn't adopt this performance and payment plan, we would eliminate the PID's ability to levy that assessment. And the bond still is out there.
Okay. Council will entertain action on the first reading of the ordinance.
I make a motion that we approve the first reading of the ordinance for the Public Improvement District Annual Service Assessment Plan for Cornerstone.
A second.
A motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion? Being no discussion or vote, all in favor said motion signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to regular agenda item number 12, consider and take any necessary action on a recommendation from the city manager regarding a request submitted by the Rockdale Fair Association for funding reimbursement from the Hotel Occupancy Tax Fund for the October, gosh, is that coming up so soon, 2026 Fair Rodeo. Tim and hello, Christy.
So they have submitted an application for $25,000, but I added the $5,000 from the interlocal agreement that we have with them to make their total payment $30,000. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And this is for their annual event that they have. Basically, the $25,000 is the maximum amount that we gave out as a grant for events, but this also includes the MOU amount as well.
Yes, to help with parking control.
It's a bad word. In my, we actually do have a plan though. My good buddy Steve has taken that over for us. He's gonna work with some guys from the city. We've also made an arrangement with our new security group. We hired a new security group this year, and they've worked parking security before.
Good.
So I'm not gonna put a whole security team in the lot out there, but they're gonna work with the team that we have that's gonna man the lot for us, just to kind of give them some teeth. With, I think some of our crowd, I don't know how well they're gonna listen to just, volunteers in the parking lot. So I've got some security out there to kind of back them up for that. So we'll be paying for the team, and then also for our in-park security is gonna be in the parking lot.
Awesome. Go ahead, Christy.
I was saying, if you'd like, I can meet with you to kind of go over what we did successfully.
I think Steve was gonna hit you up for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
And just, I'm not going to speak for Chief Metters, but I did speak with Chief Metters after talking to, I guess it was you and James in regard to, have y'all talked with Chief Metters about having
Not yet.
control over that parking lot?
Not yet. Oh, control over it,
or being able to do what you need to do out in that parking lot?
I
Just
think,
have a meeting with Chief Metters is what I'm
well, I
telling
think
you.
I have to have an agreement with the city so that I can tow from it.
Okay.
Like a rental agreement or something like that, because I can't get a tow truck driver to come out there since we don't own that land or that lot.
So, yeah, set up that meeting with Chief Metters to,
No, okay. Will do.
please.
Will do.
Yes.
So, it's been a rough year. We had the fair last year, we only brought in about $225,000 on the gate, which is about $30,000 less than we normally do. Red Farron did not work out for us, but we've got a pretty strong lineup this year. I can't start publicizing in writing due to contractual obligations. We'll have Shenandoah on Friday night, and then we'll have, Pecos and the Rooftops, I believe, on Saturday night, which they have a pretty big following.
Yep.
We're getting a lot of good feedback so far from their websites and their fan groups. We've learned over the last 2 or 3 years to really kind of get in touch with their fan groups. I didn't think that most of these guys had really big ones, but they do. And we're kind of marketing towards them a little bit. So we're looking for a bigger fair this year. Definitely need a bigger fair this year. I think I told y'all the last time we met, Lynn, that I wasn't ready to talk about Jubilee Days yet. I don't know that I'm ready yet either today, but if you have any questions, I'll answer them. We were low on the gate, and the gate money that we bring in, the majority of our income comes from beer sales, ticket sales, and just regular walk-through gate sales. But our sale was the biggest one that we've ever had. We raised $1.4 million for the kids in Milam County, so we still kind of, achieved the main goal that we were setting out. But the different things that we've done this year, we're adding the parking security. We also have been working on building projects out there for the last probably 4 or 5 months, and it looks like we're getting ready to start wrapping most of those up. We're at the electrical and water piece to all of that right now, so I've kind of lowered my savings account more than what I would have liked, but we're working through it. Need a big fair this year.
Good.
Mhm.
Exciting to hear.
Yep.
Pecos and the Rooftops and Shenandoah, great entertainment lineup, for sure.
The only negative feedback I'm getting is most people wish we could have done Shenandoah on Saturday night. We've been trying to book them for about 12 years now, and this is the first time that they were available either night, so we grabbed them. I think we're out of town on football that Friday, but it's not Cameron this time, so we'll have to see how that works out for us.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say, Christie, or
Oh, just
council, do you have any questions?
appreciate y'all's support
for
every year.
Christie?
No?
I do want to publicly say, though, to thank Shanna for all her help. She stays on top of me for this, and I don't know that I could get through this hot process if it weren't for her. She's awesome.
Thank you, Shanna.
The degree of information you give us annually is very much appreciated, so thank you.
I told you before,
Format.
I'm begging for money. I'll give you all the information you want.
So, council, it looks like staff recommends approve the application for hot funds. I'll entertain action on this agenda item.
I'll make a motion that we approve the hot funds application with the amendment that City Manager Kelty has added to it for the 2026 Annual Rockdale Fair.
Second that.
Have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion? Being no discussion, we'll vote. All in favor of said motion signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Christie.
Thank y'all very much.
Absolutely. Welcome to the fair. Regular agenda item number 13. Consider and take any necessary action on a recommendation from the city manager regarding a request submitted by the Rockdale Historical Society for funding reimbursement from the Hotel Occupancy Tax Fund for project access to, for the Rockdale Depot Museum. Hello, ladies. How are y'all?
Howdy. Doing good.
Good. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much for having us
Welcome.
tonight.
Mr. Mayor, council members, city manager. Thank you for having us here this evening to talk about an important improvement that we propose to make to our downtown superstar, the Depot Museum. We are requesting funding, hot funds not to exceed $5,000 to complete the financial support and allow us to add 250 feet of hard surface improvement sidewalks and improve our accessibility to all of our depot exhibits. Right. I noticed in the staff recommendation, thank you for that, Tim, that there's one correction I would like to make, that our $3,000 sponsor is actually SLR rather than Riot. So they have already provided that sponsorship, and we are just holding those funds until we fund the remainder of the package, at which time we could start work immediately. Right.
What's the total value of the work that you're trying to achieve? You're asking for 5,000, SLR is giving you three. What is that?
MDD is also funded 7425 as a their last meeting. So really it's 44.
It's a little less than $5,000. I rounded it up to $5,000. It's reimbursement.
Yeah.
So if they end up spending less than, if the contract goes over a little bit, they would have up to 5,000.
Right, 5,000 applies for just.
So what they were asking for was $4,850, I think.
So my question is, if we give them the 5,000, you got the money from SLR and something from the MDD, that will allow you to complete your whole project that you're trying to do.
Phase 1, yes, the sidewalk project
that was my question.
specifically. And it would enable a phase 2.
Okay.
Immediately, so.
And that's 14,850.
For the total project.
So Project Access is split into two parts. What we're here on behalf of is to secure the funding to be able to start and complete Phase 1, which is all of our concrete sidewalks. That's going to connect our property from the bathrooms where our sidewalks end to the caboose, all the way down to the end of our dining car, and add a second wheelchair accessible parking spot on the road where there's already a curb cut. In addition to that, it's going to lay a necessary platform at the end of our dining car on which we will be building a wheelchair accessible deck. So the second phase of Project Access, we're going to be seeking corporate sponsorships. We already have 2 committed verbally. One person who's committed to purchasing all or part of the wheelchair lift. We already have our deck plans sent to an engineer, so we're working on the planning phases of that. The $5,000, if the council would approve, would allow us to actually execute this entire first step and begin the sponsorship packages for the people who have already donated and get that publicity out so that we can develop some momentum for phase 2.
Do you have an estimate on the phase 1 and 2?
Phase 1 is $14,825 from the concrete contractor. He's ready to start this week when we have secured funding. That shouldn't take very long at all. Phase 2, we're gonna have more hard numbers as soon as I get the deck drawings back from our engineer. But we're aiming, and this is just a ballpark, between 25 and 35,000, depending on, how our bids come back. So, and that's for the full deck, should be including the wheelchair lift.
Which we've already.
We have a verbal commitment for the wheelchair lift right now.
Is approved for the.
Okay.
That's great.
Awesome.
I'll make a motion that we approve the $5,000 recommendation from City Manager Kelty for the reimbursement of the funding for the Rockdale Depot Museum.
A motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
A motion is second on the floor, is there any discussion? Be no discussion, we'll vote. All in favor of said motion signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Keep up the good work,
Thank you.
ladies. Agenda item number 14, consider and take any necessary action on a resolution designating authorized signatories for the CDBG MIT Resilient Communities Program, contract number 23-160-210-F792. Hello, Ben.
Hey, Mayor. Hey, Council. So this is just some paperwork on the side of the no match grant, if you can recall, for the Unified Development Code. All this is doing is just giving us authorized signatures, so we're asking for the mayor to be one and Shanna to be the second.
Pretty straightforward, Ben.
What's the second resolution do?
So the second resolution on the next item is just a housekeeping item. It's just reaffirming that we do follow civil rights policies for the city. It's a requirement on the grant to pass that resolution and keep that updated.
I see staff you're recommending approval on both resolutions, Ben,
Yes, sir.
obviously. Okay.
Yes, and was talking to Barbie, I think you can do both of these resolutions with one motion.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm seeing the mayor and the city secretary be authorized. I thought, did you not say Shanna to sign?
Is the city secretary?
Okay, oh, and the mayor.
Yeah.
Got you, okay, okay.
Great. I move that we approve line item 14 and 15 as read.
I have a motion to approve item 14 and 15 is read. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second on the floor. Is there any discussion? All in favor of said motion signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously with Councilmember Perry abstaining because he has stepped out of the room. Moving on to regular agenda item number 16, consider and take any necessary action on a contract renewal with BVR Waste and Recycling. Tim?
Yes, so the city's solid waste contract with BVR Waste and Recycling expires in January, actually, January 2027. I miswrote that on your memo. It was a 5-year contract. It started in 2021. Over the last 5 years, the BVR has provided good service. They originally had proposed a 5% rate increase starting in January for residential pickup, with a 3% per year increase thereafter for the term of the new contract, and then 10% for commercial service and 5% year after. When I talked to council previously, he asked me to go back and kind of work them over a little bit, see if we could do better. And they came back with a 4% residential increase in January, with 3% increases thereafter, and a 7.5% commercial increase, and 3.5% increases thereafter. All the other terms of the current contract remain the same. So my recommendation is to move forward with this renewal. It does keep us in line with rates being charged by cities in the area.
Is it, the new contract gonna be 5 more years?
New contract would be an additional 5 years.
One of the things that happens when we hire new contract, switch solid waste providers is we get new trash cans and that sort of thing. I'm not promoting that we get new trash cans, but what happens when I've got one at the bottom's pretty well gone out of? Is that my responsibility, or is BVR, is that part of their arrangement?
Mr.
Okay,
All right, you can call the city and we'll get it replaced.
okay,
Free of charge.
okay.
No problem.
Because
As long as,
at
as
that
long
point,
as
some people
dorm,
are in there 10 years in their can.
as long as it is due to normal wear and tear, they will replace it.
Okay.
If it's any kind of abuse or, you use it to hold acid and
Okay,
On fire, we've had that happen. 4th of July shenanigans.
okay.
Tim, have we looked into comparable rates? And I'm just asking, I was one to visit a lot of these sites, BVR being one of them, and before we made the decision to go with them. And I understand, as Tim has mentioned before, changing somebody's trash is one of the most disturbing things for citizens, because you're getting a little bit
It's a good
smaller.
thing. But,
But if it keeps, I want to see how we can keep rates competitive. I'm not opposed to the increase annually. Was this a comparable increase in the previous contract?
Yes, sir.
3.5%?
It was, yes, it was 3 to 3.5%. We held off on it for a couple of years on the increase just because we were in a pretty tough time for everybody. When we took over, it was during COVID, which was a nightmare for everybody, including us. And then we did see some huge increases in diesel and different things that went on at that time. We did have an increase, and then I believe we held off this past year on doing any price increases as well.
so the rates that they are proposing to, I did look at other cities in the area. I looked at Giddings, Thorndale, Cameron, Hearn, Caldwell, and what they're proposing is competitive.
I'm not necessarily worried about the cities we looked at. Did we look at the other companies? Did we compare with other companies' rates?
Well, those other cities have multiple different companies. So, no, when I came to council a few weeks ago, you know, I asked, or a couple months ago, I asked if whether we wanted to go out for bid and potentially select a new contractor with a, you know, if by going out for bid, you're gonna look at the lowest contractor. And the desire of council was to stay with BVR and get the best rate that we could from there. So without going through that process of going out for bids, I really can't get quotes from Waste Connections, or all I can look at, see is what they're charging other cities.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
You were here a few months ago.
Yes, sir.
And we went through this process.
Yes.
Right? And I remember having those discussions then. So, and I was out of the room when these discussions started on this agenda item.
I'm sorry, Mayor, so I had mentioned earlier that when I brought this to council earlier, BVR was proposing a 5% increase in January.
Okay.
For residential collection, and 3% a year thereafter, and 10% increase for commercial service starting in January, with a 5% thereafter. And council had asked me to go back and try to negotiate with them, and they came back and offered 4% increase for residential and a 7.5% increase for commercial. Still 3% annual increase, but they lowered the 5% thereafter in commercial to 3.5%.
So what would that do to a regular homeowner? How would that increase? How much would that percent?
So if you look at the very back of the,
Attachment number 1?
Yes, let me see. Yes.
Attachment number 3.
So the current rate
Okay.
for residential is $15.47. The 4% increase would take that up to $16.09. So it'd be about a 62% increase per month. And then over the 5 years, it would take it all the way up to $18.11 by 2031.
That additional cart, that's,
That's if an individual requests a
Right.
second cart.
so it's 1609 plus the 1196, correct?
Yeah, so if you have, currently, if you have 2 carts, the cost is about $27. Under the new terms, it would be about $28 for 2 carts.
For 26 and 27, and then it goes up.
26, in the very top of the page is the current rate.
And I know you said you did you did research these other cities, and I see this. So Cameron pays $20 for twice a week.
And all those comparisons are for a single cart collection.
For a single cart.
What did you say on the commercial side? You're doing 7%,
Yes, sir.
and then
7%
and
and
it's going to
3.5%.
3% annually as well? So 4 and 7, and then the 3 is consistent
Yes, sir.
between residential and commercial.
Here's my concern. And I said this before we raised our water and our sewer rates. My concern is for our citizens overall. My concern is especially for our fixed income citizens. It's easy for us to sit up here on this dais and say, okay, let's raise rates, right? But it's hard for some of our citizens to afford these increases in these rates. And we've increased water rates, we've increased wastewater rates on our citizens, and now here we are again, potentially going to increase some more rates on our citizens. And maybe it's just the timing, but it seems like poor timing to me, and I'm not happy with it. I would use another word, but I'm darn unhappy with it.
let me say, so this potential,
And this is not directed at you, sir.
You're good. You're good. I understand exactly where you're going from.
this rate increase would actually not go into effect until December, January. So the rate increase we did for water and sewer was the first one we'd done in quite a while, and we adopted it, I think, finally in April. So this particular increase of 62 cents on their trash rates would be in December, January.
So, I'm not promoting for BVR at all, not good or bad. But what I want everybody to understand is if we go, I don't like increasing any more, but if we go to the open market and we don't get something better, we're going up, whether we like it or not.
Valid point. Valid point.
We're, and I don't know, it's a rate increase, it's minimal, it does add up, but you're playing with fire when you go to the open market and ask for numbers. At that point, you're taking the lowest one you get, whatever it is. You have no other options. And anybody else, I don't know how much money BVR is making out of this deal in there, but anybody else that come in has a tremendous startup expense that they're gonna share with somebody. And so we just have to be mindful of that.
And my point that I'm trying to make is not that BVR is overcharging us with this increase. It's just that it seems very, unfortunately untimely to me for our citizens. And I wish I could change that. I don't know where I'm going with this. Unfortunately, I can't change it. It's just untimely.
We are lowering tax rate, if that helps with any.
Which is good. Yes, I agree with that.
Well, I think where you're going with it is you're showing the citizens the true concern. We hear, we see, we feel it, and we're expressing what we can do to help ease that, but at the same time, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, yes, sir, I agree.
So it's obvious that we need trash services, right?
ma'am.
And we've done business with you guys for a long time.
Yes, ma'am.
What have you done for us as far as to prove that you're a good partnership with our city, other than providing your services? If I recall years back, y'all had committed to doing a few things for our citizens in the city. Can you remind me of?
So I know y'all were doing there was a big project going on with the historical building in downtown. I know we contributed quite a bit to the funding of that. We also have contributed to other little activities that have gone on that, people have asked for. We've also, we do the free events, the bulk pickup events 4 times a year.
That's what I'm remembering. I
So
knew
we
it was
do-
something for sure.
We
this
do
happened.
contribute 10, it's actually 20 free roll-off containers.
Okay.
It's quite an expense for us to do that, but we do it for the citizens. And then also, twice a year, we do a free bulk pickup where we come by and we pick up, bulk pickup at people's residences. So, we do that free of charge as well. So,
They also have, the last two years, I think for 3 different events, donated porta potties
Yes.
and restrooms for our events downtown.
Yes.
I think I remembered that. Okay, good.
I think you're vested in your commitment to the city. I have no doubt about it.
And I will tell you this, I hear exactly where you're coming from. And we have been hit with extreme cost increases for us, operating costs with diesel. Everybody's seen how that's going on. We can't just pass that off to our customers.
Sure.
And so we do things, we try to be as efficient as possible and you saw us, we kind of changed the way we pick up trash. We went from a rear load truck to a side load truck to try to be more efficient to minimize those costs. And then also some of the trucks we buy, they were $250,000 when we started this contract. Now they're $500,000. So it's we had a 14% increase in our disposal costs that we've incurred, just over the life of the contract. And we are well aware of those costs and what goes on, and then that's also why we choose to honor our commitments, to the city. It's not your problem, but we're trying to be as best we can be and provide the best services possible to the city, and so.
So right now, the city has, what, about 2,200, how many residential properties are there?
About 2,200.
About 2,200?
Close.
Are there,
With the new subdivision, it may be above that now.
that's where I was going, are there economies of scales that we might be able to realize in the future in some of the proposed increases, if we add another 1,000 residential households in the city?
See that? I mean, you can see that, but there's kind of a give and take, because you get to a certain size, and then we have to send 2 trucks.
Right.
We have to add, more. What's the word I'm looking for? More assets to the area, more expense. That's costing us. So I can't really scale that. I'm with you. I've done many cost comparisons on cities around, and it's kind of where we come up with our rates, just making sure we're staying competitive and make sure you guys are getting what you pay for. And then we're always, open to any considerations that you may want to take with us. And we try to provide the best service at the best rate as possible. And I've done a lot of research on the rates around, and we are very competitive. So.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Council?
I didn't get on here and make friends, so here we go.
Well, I mean, it's yeah, the timing, as I said, the timing's bad. It's a service we have to have for our citizens. I agree, costs are going up. Diesel, as we know, if you have a diesel truck and you buy diesel or gas at the pump, costs are going up. Motor oil, whatever.
I make a motion that we accept staff recommendation for the solid waste contract extension with BVR Waste and Recycling for a 5-year term with the increases that have been provided.
I'll second that.
Motion is second on the floor. Is there any discussion? All in favor of said motion signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously.
And again, Mayor, I would remind you that the effective date of this new contract is not till January 1st.
January 1st. Okay. That's a good thing. All right, it is 7:18. We will now convene into executive session under sections 551087 of the Texas Government Code to A, deliberate about economic development negotiations for the city's 6 acres at 633 West Cameron Avenue, owned by the city of Rockdale, Texas. Okay, council, the time is 7:55 p.m. We are reconvened into open session. Is there any action coming out of closed session?
No, sir.
No action coming out of closed session. Is there any other business to attend to tonight before we adjourn?
No, sir.
Being none, we are now officially adjourned at 7:55 p.m. Thank you for your attendance tonight.